Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and a very good evening. Today, my topic of speech is I plus I is equals to L. Seems a bit confusing. Seems like a mathematical equation. Yeah, 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. But let's solve this puzzle together. By looking at the picture, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Any guess, any thought?
Dangerous.
Dangerous, yeah?
Africa.
Yeah, Africa.
Leadership.
Sorry?
Leadership. He's guiding.
Yeah, she is guiding, yeah.
Fulani.
Sorry?
Fulani.
Women.
That's a tribe.
Photoshop.
Yeah, so one of the concepts that I got, from this picture is a leadership. Because my whole life I confuse about the concept of leadership because everyone has its own definition. Like everyone has its own point of view by seeing, this picture. But leadership is not about the designation. It's not about the seniority. It's not about the size. People often think that, the leaders are CEOs or the directors and the VPs. People with big offices, maybe big titles, big paychecks. But when I reflect one of a powerful story, I realize that leadership is a very simple concept. Leadership is inspire plus impact. So if your action inspires others to dream more, to learn more, to do more and become more, you are a leader. Let me tell you a powerful story that truly defines the real definition of inspiration and impact. Woman in the picture is a great example that how ordinary people can show extraordinary leadership. She is not the CEO. She is not the senior vice president. She is not the prime minister. The woman in the picture named Ozilo McCarthy. She grew up in adverse poverty, faced absolute adversity, faced one difficulty after another difficulty in life. But she been honored by the world leaders. She met with the presidents and prime ministers. She even received an honorary doctorate degree from Harvard University. So who was that woman and why she received such a claim? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the story. Ever since she was a young lady, she took the nickels and the dimes and the quarters by washing dirty laundry of the people. And going to the local bank for her daily contributions. Days converted into weeks, weeks converted into months, months converted into years. And one day she was 87. She walked into the bank, and the man behind the counter smiles and said, "Do you have any idea that how much money you have accumulated?" And she said, "No, why don't you tell me?" And he said, "You accumulated $250,000 US." Now, she was a simple woman. She had no idea that how much was the $250,000 US. So the man behind the counter, he put 10 dimes in front of her and said that this represents your total wealth. Tell me what you want me to do with this money. And she pointed out to the first dime and said, I want you to give this to the church. She pointed out to the next 3 dimes and said that please give it to my nieces and nephews because I love them so much. For the remaining 6 dimes, she said, I have something very special in my mind. And 1 month later, a local university received a check of $150,000 with the handwritten note simply said, I wanted to set up a scholarship for the poor African American students who still have a dream. She said, I have a dream that before I die, I wanted to see the first recipient of my scholarship walk across the graduation stage. And sure enough, before she died, the first recipient of her scholarship walked across the graduation stage. After her death, one of the students said in an interview that heaven could not find better soul than this. She was a blessing. She was a treasure. She was the leader in the entire world. I never came across such an inspirational and impactful story. But the lesson I learned that each one of us can inspire and create an impact. When I look around this room, I see leaders. I see people who inspires me. I see people who impacted my journey in Toastmasters. When I listen to the strong speakers, I feel motivated. When I see champions, I feel driven. When I see newcomers coming on the stage and still struggling but still showing up, that inspires me. So let's keep it simple. I plus I is equals to L. Let's inspire each other. Let's create an impact no matter how small it is. Let's be a leader. Let's create more leaders. Thank you, and back to you.